one. Hey y'all, how you doing today? CVMG back again with more Infinite Magicraid, and in this video I just wanted to provide for you a final update with my thoughts on the game, as well as answer all of the questions that you have. And based on the official Discord, there's a lot of questions to answer, so without wasting too much time, I just like to go ahead and dive into it. As for this test server, I have no idea what's going on. There's a lot of different people that say different things. I have no idea who to believe, so I'm not even going to get into that. But what I will point out is that regardless of what happens to the test server, it doesn't really matter to me, because I've been planning on re-rolling on a new server ever since I learned about the game. The next blanket statement I would want to cover a lot of these future questions with is if you have a question about a character, you really got to be mindful of who you're asking. The only way you can see a character at its maximum effectiveness is if it's fully built, and that includes its equipments, being 5-star awakened, all of it. A character can be really good at early game and then just completely fall off by late game and turn into trash. Now, the main two sources of bad advice are going to be from tier lists, and they're going to be from whales. Starting with the tier lists, I'll be real, I get it. Tier list is pretty much the only search term pulling in more than 1,000 views per video on this game right now, so I don't blame anybody for using that in their title and thumbnail. But say for instance, if you say that a character like Eden sucks, and then that becomes popular opinion, you're just kind of screwing over everybody because Eden is great, and that's just one example of many. Next is going to be whales. A lot of people ask whales for their advice, not understanding that they're not getting through the game with their wit and skill. Sure, they'll have like all of the end game content on farm faster, but that's just because they fully built their characters faster. If you ask a whale a question and then they show you their team and it has like 5 legendaries with no exclusive equipment upgrades and no real strategy or synergy involved, you could just go ahead and disregard whatever they're about to tell you, because as much as legendaries are cool, they're not the best at every role in the game, so someone that was at least decent at the game would understand that your entire team should surely not consist of all legendaries. That's why about a month or two into the game, people with actual knowledge on strategies for these types of games are going to catch up fairly quickly. Now I'm going to jump into some of the questions that are being received in the official Discord, because it's too much to answer them all at once typing, but in video form I'll just go through them one at a time. Spam Bam says, new to the game, what is a good campaign starter team to build up? So in the beginning of the game, what you're going to want to focus on is getting a carry to Ascension level 5 as fast as possible. The power difference between an Ascension 5 character and an entire team of Ascension level 1 characters is ridiculous. The Ascension 5 guy can one-shot the entire team of Ascension 1 guys. So I have a video referencing all of the characters that I thought would be good carries for the beginning of the game. I'll go ahead and put it in a card right here so you could click it if you want to watch it. Is set with Leech good for Margarita? So the reason I'm answering this is because a set with Leech is good for any damage dealer that is having trouble staying alive. There are a lot of characters with innate Leech built into their kit, like Lutz with exclusive weapon 1 or Holder with exclusive weapon 1, and then whenever you put Leech on top of that, those characters become insane carries. That being said, you can still recover a little bit of your health with a Leech set, so if you want to perform that same function just on a lower scale, then any damage dealer with a Leech set is a good idea. How do you build Valentine? Crit or something else? So whenever you're building damage dealers, one of the first things you want to go for is always 100% crit rate, or 85% is about a soft spot where you can guarantee a large amount of crits. If you don't land a crit, then all of the stats that you've put into crit rate and all of the stats that you've put into crit damage are completely wasted for that turn. So in turn, you're going to want to make sure that you crit 100% of the time. Fearless sets with crit rate are going to be very helpful. Substats of crit rate, the main stat of your artifacts being crit rate, is going to be very important, because it's hard to build crit rate in this game. Only after you have like 85% or 100% crit rate should you start building crit damage, and then at that point you're going to really start to see some returns. Besides the dungeons that you're struggling to beat, what else is there to do? Hero collecting, trying new teams, waiting for updates, and Uni sums it up perfectly here. Staying on top of your PvP is very important, and trying to get as many stars as you can for the campaign is also very important. Once you hit a wall in the campaign, you need to go back and then recover all of those stars that you lost before. The more stars you have, the more idle rewards you gain over time, as well as the marketplace scales off of how many stars you have. So if you want to buy 5-star eggs and 6-star legendary equipments, you're going to need to get 800 stars as soon as possible. Is there a champion that puts protection against debuffs? The answer to that is unfortunately no. Developers, these are the kind of questions you should watch out for whenever you're theory crafting new characters to put into the game. Is Walter worth using? I'd say yes, he's very strong, can apply a lot of poison stacks to the enemy just for being attacked. If you have an entire team based on poison, he's going to be like God tier. But if he's the only poison unit on your team, he's still going to be pretty good. Does Obero have self-healing? No, he doesn't, but you could put a set with lifesteal on him and recover a little bit of HP that way. Is Ishtar worth building? The thing that sucks about this kind of question is you have him. It's up to you to build him up and then tell us if he's worth using. So if you get a character and you don't know if they're good or not, the game is still relatively new, you're probably in a good position to build them up yourself and then judge. That also keeps the game fresh because then not everybody is going to build the exact same characters that a content creator recommends. Curious what you're doing with duplicate champs? As far as I can see, they're not used to ascend or skill up in any way. They are used to skill up your exclusive equipment, take them to 6-star basically, and then you will unlock the ability to slot a duplicate to upgrade their exclusive equipment, but you also have to bring the duplicate to 5-star first. Alright, I'm going to do one more and then I'm going to close with what I think is the most important closing thought that I saved for the end of this video because I know that the real ones are going to be around to hear it. This question just blew my mind the day it was asked. What is AP? AP is going to be the yellow bar underneath your HP that fills up over time based on your character's speed. Whoever has the highest speed and whoever's bar fills up the most first gets to take the first turn. Whoever had the second highest gets to go second, whoever had the third highest gets to go third, etc, etc. The faster your speed, the more quickly your AP bar fills up, and then that in turn makes you take more turns overall. And before I close this off, I've been wanting to mention that the reason I got into this game is for its PvP potential. Okay, I like that you have 5 characters on your team, I like that a lot of characters have area of effect abilities, and there seems to be a good amount of synergy. The problem that I have is that there's a lot of people recommending changes to make the game easier. These games are already so easy. I'll go through 3 quick examples of people that recommend things religiously and then counteract it with the reason I think it's a bad idea. The first one is going to be resetting characters. Now the reason I think that people want this is because they built up a character that they in turn didn't end up liking too much, and they just sort of want to reset all of the resources they put into that character and try putting it into someone else. Take that situation and apply it to someone like me, who I have spent hours delving through all of the kits in this game. I've looked at everyone's abilities, legendary, epic, 3-star, it doesn't matter, I've looked at them all. I looked at all of their exclusive equipment upgrades, and I know exactly what units I want and exactly what team I want. So I don't really think it's fair if I put in all the work to pioneer that team, then the Joe behind me who's lagging behind because of his mistakes gets to reset his mistakes and catch up to me. What was the point of me even theory crafting a team? What's the point in me putting any work into experimenting with these characters whenever I could just wait on a content creator to come out with a tier list and then put all of my resources into the S tier units? The next one is going to be offering free legendaries to people for logging in for 30 days or giving a legendary at the end of a campaign or something. Again, yeah, that sounds like a nice thing to do for players that haven't pulled a legendary at that point. But you know what's going to happen? If they put in a free reroll or a free summon for a legendary, they're going to pick 5 or 6 legendaries and put them in a pool of everyone to pull, and then every single person in the game is going to have one of those legendaries. Their value plummets dramatically. The next one is going to be just removing the requirements to ascend a weapon. Usually after you get another copy, you still have to build it to 5-star, and the person you put it into has to be ascended at least one time, right? So what people want to do is they want to take away those requirements and just allow you to slot in these 4-stars. This game's progress is based on idle rewards. Part of your idle rewards are the characters that you use as food. You need that food in order to build up these characters so that you could get stronger. Games are easy enough as it is. After you get past the story, after you get past the campaign and you have all your dungeons on farm, the only thing that consistently changes in these games is PvP. And a lot of you, from what I've heard, don't like PvP. So why would you want to make your lifespan of the game shorter? The same type of players that want all of those gimme easy mode changes are the type of players that aren't going to stick around anyways. They're going to put in some money, hit a wall, get pissed, leave a 1-star review on the Play Store saying that the game's too hard, and move on to the next one. That pretty much sums it up. If you have any questions, feel free to join my Discord. But other than that, y'all, that's going to do it for me today, and I'll see y'all on global release. Bye.